everybody. How are you? Happy New Year. I hope that you had a wonderful Christmas and New Year. I know it was very odd, a very different celebration to what a lot of us were expecting, but I hope that you managed to spend some time with your families and you had a nice celebration either way. I thought I would just pop on and talk to you about what is going to be in the Valentine's box, which is available now until either it sells out or until the end of the week, depending on which comes first. So I'm not going to be doing as much in my shop this month as I had planned because things with schools are very up in the air at the moment. Schools may close and move to virtual learning, and as much as some people might think that's a bit of a holiday for teachers, it's actually a lot more work to be able to put together resources that children and parents can access for themselves without a qualified teacher present. So it's actually a lot of work, and the thought that I might have to manage all of that again is a bit nerve-wracking. However, I still want to have something in my shop for you. So I'm going to be doing a Valentine's box like I did last year, and I will have the same options as last year. So I offered either a full skein or a set of 5 minis. I'm also going to offer the option this year if you want to add both into your box. So if you want the full skein and the minis. And there will also be a DK option this year. To calm down. Just like so much to tell you, so excited. So yes, lots of options. So sock weight or DK, full skein or minis, or both if you would like both. And then you will get a little progress keeper set as well. Last Valentine's I had a little heart charm. If you bought the Valentine's box you'll remember. But this year I think I'm going to use some semi-precious stones with some stitch markers. So here is an example. This is from last year's Precious Minis Club, and I made a little progress keeper and stitch marker set to go in each one, and this is the pink Peruvian opal one. And I think I'm going to use some of the precious stones that I have left over from the Minis Clubs because they will be really delicate, pretty soft colours, and that is the theme that I'm going for with my Valentine's box. There is also an option to add a bag. So I thought I'd show you last year's Valentine's bag and then the style the bag will be this year. So if you bought my Valentine's box last year, then you will have one of these bags. So this style is not a style that I do anymore, the round base. I actually do a square base now, but this is the fabric, which is a beautiful Liberty London fabric with blush drawstring channels, pockets and lining inside, and a nice canvas around the bottom. But this is the actual bag shape that will be available this time round. So it's a square base rather than a round base, but it stands up on its own. And other than the shape of the base, it's pretty much the same. This is also a Liberty fabric. This is from the Flower Power Fund that I took part in last year. And it's fairly big inside. I've got a sweater project in here that I haven't worked on for some time. This is how it looks inside. Got a pocket that goes all the way along the back, and you've got one large pocket, a sort of medium pocket, and then 2 smaller ones, which are perfect for pens and your crochet hook for rescuing dropped stitches. So this is the shape and size of bag that will be available to go in the Valentine's box this year. The fabric will be a surprise. It will be a Liberty fabric. It will be a delicate pastel floral fabric in the theme of Valentine's, flowers, that sort of thing. and the yarn will coordinate with the bag. So the colours that are in the bag fabric will be picked up and used to make the colours of the full skein. The full skein will be one skein with all the colours in there, whether they'll be kind of variegated, speckled, splashes, that kind of thing. Whereas the minis will be slightly more solid, but with each of the colours picked out and some speckling and variegation as well. In case you're totally new to me and my yarn shop, I thought I'd just show you a couple of colourways from Christmas so you can get a bit of a feel for the way that I dye up yarns and sort of my colour palette. So here is one of my Christmas colourways. I think this is my favourite Christmas colourway. It is called Thunderlini. So there's lots of variegation. We have got like some lovely toffee patches. I like to keep some undyed on most of the skeins, and then we've got some lovely splashing here where you get like 1 or 2 good stitches out of that colour, and then some speckling as well. So that's Thunderlini. And then this was the colourway that was in my Christmas advent, and it's called Bucks Fizz Brunch. So I like to have little splashes and hints of colours. There's some like golden yellow, some peaches, salmons, the odd little peak of something a bit more saturated, something a bit more lively, but overall very kind of muted colour palette, pastels, gentle, very subtle, calming. The full skein and mini will come wrapped like this. So this is actually, I think, one of my seasonal treat sock clubs from last year, but this is how it will come wrapped. So it's some tissue paper, so it's a nice little surprise. And then I'll always put a little bit of information about the colourway and what's inspired it. And the Progress Keeper set always comes on a little rose gold hoop and mounted on one of my little cards to keep it safe as well. So if you choose to go for a Valentine's box, you will get a bag like this with some yarn wrapped like this and a little Progress Keeper set as well. So this is what will be in the Valentine's set. I normally at Valentine's pop a little tasty treat in for you as well. So I'll probably do that again this year. Is there anything else I need to tell you about the Valentine's box? I don't think so. I think that's everything. If you have any questions, the best way to get hold of me is to send me a message on Etsy, because I always get notifications and check there most frequently. Later on this month, I'm taking part in a virtual yarn festival. I don't know how much I can tell you about that in the moment, but very excited because that's the first time for me. So I will share more about that later on this month. And is kind of why I didn't want to do any other dyeing and bag making than the Valentine's boxes, because I will have a full collection for the yarn festival. So I wanted to keep it kind of manageable and to a safe a safe amount for me to get on with, but also enough that I don't want to miss out on all this exciting times of year like Valentine's. I have decided that this year, for the foreseeable, I won't be doing sock clubs or minis clubs. They are lovely and I really enjoy doing them. It takes a lot of pressure off when you're doing mystery colourways. I particularly like doing that because it's a surprise and it's really fun. But I've decided it would just be too much work at the moment, and when things settle down, I will maybe reconsider and think about it again, but for now, no clubs, I'm afraid. Yes, I think that's all my news, all my updates. So as I mentioned before, my husband and I are expecting, which is very exciting. If you don't follow me on Instagram, that might be completely new news to you. Yeah, we're expecting our first baby early July, sort of early summertime. So that's wonderful, but also a little bit scary during a pandemic, but that just happens to be where we are in our lives. So that's life. It won't be a pandemic forever. So there we go. I notice my nails are matching my mug. That's completely unintentional. Okay, I think that's everything. I'd just like to say a huge thank you for all the lovely messages. I didn't do Vlogmas in the end. I was exhausted. I was in that real first trimester, so nauseous, so fatigued. I just couldn't, and there was nothing exciting to show because we were pretty much in lockdown. Even if we were allowed to do things, we wouldn't have done things anyway because we were both very cautious. So we'll try again next year with the Vlogmas. But thank you so much to everybody who reached out to check that we were okay and that we were just busy doing other things rather than getting Vlogmas up. I was mostly busy sleeping on the sofa when I got home from work. So yes, but I really appreciate your understanding with that. I think that's it from me today, but thank you very much for stopping by and I hope to see you very soon. Bye! Here is a little mock-up of what will be in your Valentine's cast-on box. So you will have a progress keeper and stitch marker set like this one here. There we go. So this is a pink Peruvian opal with some little matching stitch markers, and it will be presented in the same way but perhaps slightly different colours. Then a full skein or a set of 5 minis which will be wrapped like this. It also has a yarn band on the inside as well. So this is one from my sock club last year. So I always write the colourway on there and then explain a little bit about the colourway too. And my stickers and some lovely ribbon. And then this is the style of the bag, but it will be a different fabric because this is the fabric from the Flower Power Fund bag. But it will be a surprise fabric. It will be Liberty, pastel, floral, very pretty. Here's a little view inside the bag. So I've got a huge half-finished jumper project in there, but you can see how lovely and roomy the bag is with its handy pockets. So you've got a large one here, which is just the right sort of size for popping in a little notebook, medium one here, which is good for spare cables. I didn't even realise I had those in here, or scissors, that kind of thing. And then 2 smaller ones here, which are great for pens and needles and hooks and that sort of thing. It's a blush lining, blush drawstring channel, and the label on there too. So yeah, that's what the bag and the packaging is like, but obviously there will be differences because it's a surprise. And here's a closer look at the 2 colourways that I was showing you. So this is Thunderlini, just got some lovely toffee caramel colours, and then also this lovely sort of champagne gold as well, some nice speckling. And then this is Christmas Day Brunch, sorry, Bucks Fizz Brunch. Some really delicate little bits of salmon in here, some really delicate parts of kind of golden yellow, buttery yellow, more salmony peach, peachy orange. So that gives you a bit of an idea of what my colourways generally look like. So there's normally still some cream on there, some variegation, some speckling, a little bit of splashing. Yeah, so there you go.